This week we're going to continue with our PowerPoint, and I want to show you what you're going to do when you have all your research done. So some students this week will need to add more research. You need to maybe find your quote, maybe you need to put some more photos in, maybe you need to work on some of the slides. But this week all the slides should have paragraph and they should have the information and a photo on each slide. Now, you don't have to find photos of the person's life when they were younger or when they were a baby or anything like that. You don't even have to find their entire family photos, just as long as you have a different photo on each slide. So for instance, you see with Sally Ride here, the person, she could not find the photo of Steve Hawley or anything like that. And this is not a photo of Sally Ride when she was younger. But you see this student, she tried the best she could. She tried to find different photos of Sally Ride. Okay, so make sure you have different photos. Make sure you have your research in with full sentences. And you follow the content requirements I have in the handout. On this slide here, you can put the sources that you use. So maybe use Ducksters. Maybe use the Brain Pop. I don't know what you used. So just put your sources there on your pages where you cite your sources. I'm going to show you a few other things that you could do. Make sure you have a design. If you go to design on the top, make sure you pick a nice design. I already had this design. The other thing you could do is you can go to tools and spelling. So tools and spelling. And they will say, did you want to say Brain Pop? And you could say, okay, this is what I wanted. I wanted this change, Brain Pop, and you can change it and they'll fix it for me. And everything else was correct in our spelling. Next thing you could work on is transitions and animations. Now this student had already done transitions and animations, but I could just show you some of them. So if you go to transitions, and you can go to vortex, and that will be a nice little vortex when you change slides. Vortex. Maybe you want this one. You pick whichever ones you like for each slide, and the little star on the side here will tell you that you have your transitions there. And you also could add animations. So let's go through animations. If you go to animations, click on animations, and then you see it's grayed out. It's grayed out because you have to click on the word. If you click on the word, you can make the word fly in. You click over here, you can make it fly in or dissolve. You can make this one random like that. An adult, checkerboard, fly in, whatever you want to do. So that's animations and transitions. The other thing you have to do, and this is not required, but I wanted everybody to see how to do this. You can do insert, and you can do insert audio and record audio. And if you wanted to, you could record and say, this is my PowerPoint on Sally Ride. Click record. This is my PowerPoint on Sally Ride. You click stop, insert, and then you could play it if you wanted to. But I'll delete that. So then when you're done, you go to slideshow and you say play from start. And now when you click the arrow on the keyboard, you could see it comes in. The student has their name, the background, the photos, and the quote. That's our that's our transition. And then you see the early life. The photo pops up, and these are the animations when the words. That's the transition when it goes across, and the animation is when the words start popping up. So here's our animations with the photo, and here's our animations with our word. Okay, so now I want to talk about what to do. That was PowerPoint. What to do if you're on slides. Oh, and if you're in PowerPoint, always remember to File, Save. When you're done, File, Save. Or you could do the Save Disk on the top here. Now let's look at what to do if you're using Google Slides. So the first thing I want to talk about is where do you find your work? Well, if you're in Google Classroom, what you could do is you could click on the 9 dots over here, and then you just click on slides. So you click on the 9 dots and you click on slides, and then if you go through slides, you should be able to find your work. So then the 9 dots, slides, and just go in there, and when you're inside here, you're going to look for your work and you're going to open it up. And it probably looks something like this. You have your photos, and you have your person's name, and you have to add the quotes in as well. So what you can do is if you don't have a photo, you can go insert image, and you can do search on the web, and you could do Sally Ride. And you can put some photos in. There's different photos. The other thing I want to mention, if you have a photo from, you can close it out if you don't want. If you have a photo that you want to get from another site, what you can do is you can use Control and then C for copy, Control C, and then Control paste. Because right-click copy, right-click paste doesn't work if you're in Google Sheets. It will work in PowerPoint, but it may not work in Google Sheets. If it doesn't work, you just use Control C and Control V on a Windows computer to copy and paste a photo or anything else you want to copy and paste in. So you see you have your information. She has the title here of the slide, Early Life. She gives her information. She gives her photos. Same thing with this one. Information, and then the death, and then we have the legacy, which is the most important, and then we have the sources over here. Now, a few things you can do. You can go to Format. I'm sorry, we can click on it. You got to click on the slide first. Format. Slide. Change theme. And then you could pick one of these themes. If you don't like the theme that's on the screen, you could pick one of these. I like this one, so I click that one. If you don't want it, you could try this one if you like that one better. Import. Oh, that one I'd have to import. Let's see, import. Let's try this one. Okay, and now you see that that's the theme. If you don't like it, if you don't like that style, you can click the back arrow and you can undo it. Okay, so those are some of the things that you have there. So now after you have all of your research in, you have full sentences, you have your photos on each slide, photo on each side, you put your sources in. Okay, the next thing you know is you're going to go to Tools, and you're going to go to Spelling. Okay, so you do a spell check. Tools, spell check. And was this what I wanted to? I think this was part of California that I was mentioning, so I'm going to ignore that. And there were no other spelling issues. They just meant for this part. Oh, actually, that was a spelling error. Yeah, so they were right about that. So there's no other spelling errors other than that, so it should be good to go. And you can't do all the features that you can with PowerPoint, but you can still present. So if you go to here, Present, and you can say Present from the beginning. Okay, now you have your PowerPoint here, and you can go to your settings here, and you can say, you want to download it, you want to print it, and you can say, I want a new slide every 3 seconds, every 5 seconds, however you want to do it. So maybe I'll say every 3 seconds. And I can click play. And then it goes to the next one. And it'll be there for 3 seconds, and it turns to the next one, and etc. So you see, Slides does not give you as much options as PowerPoint does, but you still can do some various things. And it's good if you don't have PowerPoint with you. You could also insert audio if you wanted to with Slides, but you would have to have it uploaded to your Google Drive. And again, here's how you do your photos. You could do photos, or if you had a video of the person, you could do that, but we're really just focusing more on images as well. Okay, so this week, what I want the kids to do is make sure you have all your research in. Make sure that you have a photo on each slide, and you spell check. And the presentation should be mostly complete this week. Next week, I'll give the students some time to do some editing or final touches to it, but it should be mostly done this week, especially if you're remote. The children in school, some of the students don't have school on November 11th at PS221, so because of that, we're going to have to give them another week. But for most of the students, you should be done with your PowerPoint or your Google Slide this week. When you're done, what you do is when you're in your classroom here, if you're done with your project, when you're in your class here, what you're going to do is you're going to go to the assignment here. If you went to classwork, and let's see if I could find computers here. What you would do is you click on the assignment, and then what you would do is you would click on the assignment and you just upload it here. Okay, so you say add or create, and then if you're using Google Slides, you go to your you go to Google Drive, and you just find your thing and you would insert it, and then you would be done. And then once you click insert and you mark as done and you click turn in, turn in, then I will be able to see your project. Okay, so most students should be done this week with the Google slide or the PowerPoint. If you need another week, it's going to be okay, because the children who are in the building are going to need another week because some of them don't have computers this week. But next week it would just be like a little final touches or reviewing and editing. But most of the project should be done this week.